Hi everyone, Kerry from Strong and Centered. Welcome to part 3 of our Pilates series. Today we are focusing on leg work. So we're doing the side leg series and we'll start by lying straight down on the mat. So we are lying on our side through all of these exercises today. So move to the back of the mat. We want the hips and the shoulders in line. And we want the legs nice and straight. You should be able to see the toes when you look down. So you can support the head with your arm, either just place your arm underneath your head, or if you have a block or a small pillow, that might be more comfortable for you. The top arm just rests lightly in front to help with balance. So we're looking here to engage the waist area. So imagine there's a P underneath the side of your waist. So don't let everything drop into the mat and soften. We want everything nice and strong. So really engage around that center, lifting underneath the waist. Spine is in a neutral position. So just maybe have a little play around with that. Make sure that your spine is in neutral. Hips are stacked on top of one another. And this is how they remain throughout the exercises today. So nice and straight, hands are balanced. Take an inhale. Exhale, engage the core by lifting the floor, pelvic floor, engaging transverse abdominis so the lower abs are fully engaged and we maintain the contraction of that T-zone through the exercises. We're starting with the top leg lift today. So point the toe and lift the leg straight up. So we're keeping the spine in neutral. We're keeping the pelvis stable and we're not moving the hips at all. So we're not rocking backwards or forwards. We're not lifting the leg too high so that we lose that neutral position. We're just lifting straight up to a position that's comfortable. And then we're flexing the foot and drawing the foot down and pressing the heels together. So point the top toe, lift the leg straight up. Flex the foot, heel comes down first and presses against the lower heel. Point the toe, lift. Flex the foot, lower. Imagine the big toe is a piece of chalk and lifting, you're drawing a line up the wall and then you're using the heel to rub it out and press those heels together. Point. Lift, flex, lower, point, lift, flex, lower. 3 more, point, lift, flex and lower, point, lift, flex, lower. You should be able to start feeling in the side of the glutes and the hip, and turning the foot straight back to a forward position, keeping the foot flexed. Take an inhale, swing the foot forward, keeping the hips above one another, keeping that lower core engaged, and then inhale it back. Exhale forward, inhale back, exhale forward, inhale back, exhale forward, inhale back, exhale forward, inhale back. We're taking 5 more of these. We're doing 10 rounds of each exercise. Try to keep that leg stable. Watch the engagement of the pelvis. We're trying to keep it still here. Spine is in neutral. Make sure that lower waist is still lifted. We have 2 more. And last one. And swing the foot forward, turn the toe down towards the floor. Make sure that on your next exhalation, check your engagement, your core engagement. And we're going to be tapping the toe to the floor. Lift the heel. Inhale, tap, exhale, lift. Inhale, tap, exhale, lift. Inhale, tap, Exhale, lift. Hips are still stacked above one another. The waist is still lifting from the mat and your core is still engaged. Your spine is still in neutral. Lots to think about. 3 more. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Last one. Tap and lift. Bend the knee. Place it on the floor in front of you. And we're working the adductors now in the bottom leg. Take an inhale, exhale, engage the core, lift that lower leg straight up, inhale down, exhale up, inhale down. Try to hover the leg from the mat if you can, rather than rest it all the way down. Exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, 4 more, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, last one, exhale up, inhale down. Bending both knees. Knees are stacked on top of one another. Check the hips, make sure you haven't rolled forward or backwards. You're still holding neutral position at the back. You might like to keep your hands behind your back or at the back of your hip for this exercise. We're moving into our oyster or clams. Lift the feet from the floor. Keep the bottom knee on the floor. Lift the top knee open. Toes come apart and lower. So we're taking inhale to prepare. As we exhale, we engage the abdominal area as we lift. Inhale down, exhale lift, inhale down, exhale lift, inhale down, exhale lift, inhale down. Watch your hips, are they still stacked? 4 more. Is your core still engaged? You should be able to feel the outside of the glutes working here. 3 more. And last one, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Lower that bottom leg. And we're moving into a side plank here before we move to the other side. If this is comfortable for you, we're having that elbow underneath the shoulder, hand flat on the floor for stability. Just slide the knees down away from you a little bit because we are lifting up into a side plank. So once again, we want that lower waist lifted. Don't drop it down into the floor. Nice strong engagement. Engagement of the core with the exhalation and hold it there. You might like to place your fingers on your lower waist to make sure that's still lifted. And on the exhale, lift the hips from the floor and inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. If it's comfortable for you, you can raise the hand to the ceiling. Inhale down. Exhale up. Make sure the core is engaged. Hips are stacked. Spine maintains neutral position. And 4 more. Exhaling it up, waist is lifted. And last one. And relax it down. Moving to the opposite side. We'll be undertaking exact same exercises on the opposite side that you just worked. So again, moving to the back of the mat. Shoulders and hips are aligned. Legs are nice and straight. You should be able to see your toes if you look down. Top hand is resting on the mat to help with your balance. Just check your hips are stacked. Your waist, lower waist is lifted.
So everything around the core is engaged. Preparing for our top leg lift. So we're pointing the toe, lifting the leg straight up without moving the hips or the pelvis. Flex the foot, heel down and press into the opposite heel. Flex the toe, draw that line up the wall, flex the foot, rub it out. Point the toe, inhale it up, flex the foot, rub it out. Point and lift, waist is still lifted, hips are still stacked. Leg is nice and strong, so you're reaching that toe out as you're drawing that line up the wall and pressing strongly through that heel as you draw it back down to the lower foot. And we'll take 2 more, pointing and lifting, flex and lower. Just give that a little tap if you feel that you need to before we move into our forward swing. So foot is flexed. Exhale, swing the foot forward, inhale back. Exhale forward, inhale back. Make sure the hips remain stacked above one another. The waist is engaged. And this is a really tricky one to try and maintain that neutral pelvis. So you shouldn't be able to swing the foot really far forward. It depends on the tightness of your hamstrings. You may only have a short swing forward. And last one. Swing it forward, turn the toe down. And tap the toe, lift the heel. Again, keeping the top hip stacked. If it helps to keep the fingertips on the hips, do so. You'll feel this in a different part of the glutes. We work the 3 different areas of the glutes through these exercises. Keeping the leg engaged nice and strong. Waist is still lifted. Pelvic floor is still lifted. And the lower abdominals are engaged. Last 2. Last 1. And bring that foot forward, knees bent, rested on the floor. Moving to the lower leg, adductors. Flex the lower foot. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift the leg. Really squeeze that inner thigh up. Inhale it down. Exhale, lift. If you can, don't lower the leg all the way. Just hover it from the floor. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Keep the foot flexed. Where is your waist? Check that that lower waistline is lifted. Check that your lower abs are still engaged. Hips shouldn't be moving in this exercise. 2 more. 1, and we're moving into our oyster. So both knees are bent. Check that the hips are stacked. Check that the lower waist is lifted. Lift the ankles from the floor, the heels are up. Take an inhale to prepare. As you exhale, lift the top knee, keep the hips still. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Feeling that nice engagement there in the side of the glutes. And we have 5 more. Checking your alignment. Check the inside waist. Check the hip. Neutral position. Pelvic floor and lower abs are still engaged. 3, 2, and last one. Lower them down. Moving into our side plank. Elbows straight under the shoulder. Hand in front for balance. Just move the knees a little bit away from the position they are in for oyster. Hips are still stacked. Check that lower waist. So don't let the torso drop or sink into that shoulder. Shoulder is down away from the ear. The lower waist is lifted. And take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, lifting the hip from the floor and lower. Exhale, lift and lower. If it's all right for you, hand can sweep to the ceiling. Exhale, reach it up. Lower waist is engaged. Pelvic floor is still lifted and the abs are engaged. The knees are pressing together. Imagine the thighs trying to press in really strongly towards one another. Gaze can come up to the hand if you're raising it to the ceiling. And last 2. And last 1. And relax it down. That's all for our side leg series today. But I'll be back tomorrow with more treats. So I look forward to seeing you then. Bye.